isn't it? Let me see if I can turn a light on. Let's see. Here we go. Talking about Thanksgiving. I can see that, Wes. Let's see if I can get that light going. There. That's a decent light for off-grid living. And let's see if I can lower this down a little bit. Ooh, lots of ambiance. Good evening, Colleen. There is Thunder Chicken Tactical Ranch. Okay, maybe that's too much light. Is that too much light? There's Jesus. Evening. There's Rocklet Ranch with the pumpkin pie meme. There is Wes S., the one of the moderators. Thanks for being here, Wes. Always need those guys. Okay, there. My arm covers it, and then it's in the dark, and then I'm in the light. There is Aid. Hey, look at the little snow. That's cool, too. I got my cup of tea. Herbal. Aid, I guess you're back in the UK now. Westhold says he'll try to be back later. Okay. There's Garden Spices, long time no see, howdy. And Jana, wife of Casey, shalom. Thanks for being a channel supporter, Lamp Keeper, and Jana, and Teresa, and Westhold. Shout out to all y'all. There's McMikey. He has some excellent pictures on Instagram, by the way. And let's see, is there anybody else who's a channel supporter? There's Zub Zub. Okay. All right. So good to see everybody. How is your weather? It's good light. The weather is fine now. It's kind of evened out. We've had almost a week of 20-degree temps at night, which is a little bit worrisome for me with the animals, but they seem to be doing okay. Okay. There's Lamp Keeper. All right. Just scrolling through. I'm not, pointing at you guys. I'm scrolling through. There is SHK. Sonia, hello, everyone from Eastern North Carolina. Hello. And there's Ken Warland. Hey, Sister Kate. Yeah. Husband, Thunder Chicken Tactical Ranch. Husband of the wonderful Jesus. Well, you're a lucky guy. And there's Just Me. Hello. Just Me is kind of new to the channel and stuff, and she's been commenting right and left. She's got a lot of experience. And Gardner 67, always a positive person in comments and in the chats. She's also a moderator and a channel supporter. There's Graham's Garden, shalom. And Patty Sanchez, shalom. Patty, are you still on scene helping out Grindstone Ministries? There's Grace Akers, Teresa Jukowitz, channel supporter. John Cox, good evening. And Colonel Glenn, hello from West Virginia. Hello. Got to put my boys to bed, says CB. Be back soon. Okay. Yeah, it is warming up. I tried really. Y'all knew with the temperature doing what it did that I tried to keep plants alive. And unfortunately, the potatoes, no go. They just got frozen. And I went ahead and planted 3 potatoes that were in the house that were sprouting in the containers, the black containers that are in my greenhouse. And so I'm going to see if those will sprout. When it's 50 here, it's 70 in there. When it was 30 here, it was 50 degrees in there. So it could be warm enough for them to actually come up. John Cook says he is Broome County, New York here. I bet you that's up northern. Is it, John? There's Forest Dog. Shalom. Forest Dog is also a channel supporter and on Instagram. And there's John Ray. I get that mixed up every time. John Rhea. Evening, Miss Kate. He is an excellent farmer living out there in the Midwest. Farms big stuff. Thousands of acres of stuff, I think. There's Leanne 49. Brooke County, we moved to Missouri from Tioga County, New York. Did you get snow? Planted my garlic. I pray it grows. It probably will. Back in Colorado, came home to very low temps and snow. Yeah. Now, Northwest Arkansas prepper, howdy. Got a council member in the house. Also notice he's getting a little bit of beard action going on. I've had frozen animal water for a week now. Me too. I've got to bust it. Although those black trash cans I keep water in don't freeze really hard and sometimes don't freeze at all. So I go to them first if I'm getting animals. Hello, all you wonderful people and all you wrenches too. Haha. Christy B. Shalom. Forestall got 16 plus inches of new snow. Wow. Oh, Brooke County is on the southern border in New York. So what's the state under New York? New Jersey? Is that who they border? Or Pennsylvania? Broome County, not Brooke County, Broome. I'm in Kentucky, says Graham's Garden. I pulled my carrots today before they froze in the ground. Smart lady. Yep. Southern tier, New York, Pennsylvania border. I bet it's a pretty area down there too. Worked 50 acres this year. Close enough, says John. Maybe it was thousands of pounds of corn you produced one year. I don't remember. It's a lot bigger than what I do. There's Soapy Acres Homestead. Now she's up in Canada, and she had some pictures posted of snow too. Kind of going to get snowed in up there, I think. An excellent gardener. Oh my gosh, she had a wonderful garden this summer. Hubby kept the propane heaters going in the greenhouse. We didn't lose anything. Well, good. Maryland, I think. Clark Giles. Shalom, SK. Hello there, brother Clark. He blessed us, our house, with some native Oklahoma honey that is just out of this world. Did Mr. Giles. He's a very generous person. There's Lamp Keeper again. Wes says they had snow there. That's pretty unusual, right, Wes? You don't normally have snow. Grandson got a wild boar today. They eat pork. Well, I bet he was pretty excited. And that's one less of them running around on the planet. Garden Spices, we have citrus trees and fig trees growing here. I have figs too, but they got frosted. We have fires but low temps, no rain up here in coastal Pacific Northwest. Fires but low temps, no rain. That's kind of unusual. 3 snowy days for gardener. Kentucky is a stone's throw away. At Graham's Garden. Say hello and shalom to Pastor Joe for me, please. He's one of my heroes. Hello and shalom. You're somebody's hero. I don't think he can hear me. I think he's got his. Someone said hello and shalom. You're their hero.
Tell them they're my hero.
He said, John, you're his hero. More to come. Warming up the end of the week with rain, which was going to mean muddy. Teresa's got to go to bed. Blessings to you all. Good night. Good night, Teresa. Still have snow on the back deck, says NWA Prepper. It's probably the north side of your house, huh? It's stuck to the tops of materials in the yard, but not on the ground, just a dusting. Just enough to kind of make everything look like it's got salt on it. Shalom, C103. So how are you doing, Sister Kate? Thank you for asking. I will answer you right now. I'm doing fine. All my health issues related to the tooth thing and the antibiotics and the gut and everything right now have ironed out. And also getting other issues back in line because taking so many meds, it just messes many things up. So I can say that this yogurt that I really, really like, that I eat all the time, and maybe PJ's talked about it in some of his videos. It's called Noosa. Australian company is the head company of it, but it's produced in America. I recommended it to some friends with gut issues, and the husband, the wife, and the mother-in-law all say, even the daughter said it helped a lot with their gut issues. So I'm just saying, like, if you have gut issues and you don't eat yogurt, try some Noosa. Colleen says no sound. All right. Maybe I've got my sound turned down. Let me see. Yeah, sound was way down. Okay, Colleen, thanks. Sound was way down. It's up now. Is that better? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. There's Hunter Kirk from North Idaho. 8 degrees this morning. That is so cold. Wow. Northwest Arkansas is growing a beard. He's trying to look purty like Wes S. Hi, Teresa. All right. Machina Opus. What was the bang that stopped the stream last time? Good question. I wondered if any of you all would remember that. I do think that someone to my south may have fired a shot. And it's entirely possible that they just, hunting season was coming up. They just wanted to, make sure their rifle or pistol was on zero. We did try to contact the neighbor who was to our immediate south, but I didn't get a chance to do that. But it wasn't on our property. So once I figured out it wasn't on our property, I wasn't as concerned about it. So thank you for asking. Sister Kate, please check your IG. What's IG, Aid? Instagram sometime. Okay. Here's the thing with my Instagram. I shut my old one down. So if you sent me anything to the old one, even though the name is the same on the old one and the new one, I'm sure once I shut it down, they probably closed it off, because when I re-signed up, I didn't access that one. I had to start over from scratch. So if you've sent me anything there, send it again to Sister Kate Shelfer Mountain, but it should be the new one now. And you can tell by the photos. The photos are different. Mark, been missing my afternoon naps, and that makes for early bedtime. Brown County is beautiful. Okay. I can hear you fine on the big screen. Oh, that's scary to think about. Graham's Garden. I love Noosa. Honey flavor is the best. I like the blueberry. Patty likes Noosa. I'm trying to be more like Travis. Ever tried kefir, says Rock Lick Ranch? Yes, I have. I've tried the bigger bottles of kefir, and they were fine. And I've also got little bottles of kefir right now, Activa, and they're good too. I like kefir, as long as it's got a little bit of flavoring in it. Okay, will do. Wes S. Yes, early bedtime, especially since time change. I'm snoring and drooling by 9 o'clock. Pastor Joe has inspired me greatly to seek the Most High and realign myself. Well, that's good to hear, John Cox. That's part of what he and I try to help people with. We don't want to push people into belief, but if people are curious, we want to try to help them understand. And it's good to hear that it's working. And that you're realigned. Hopefully that's for the better. So the title of the live stream was Channel Report. So I just wanted to go over a little bit of stuff today, because I was looking over the channel. Hang on. I made cactus fruit wine, and I may or may not have distilled some of it into a clear liquid. Well, congratulations. I hope it tasted good. The wine that I made is sweet and very strong. A sister drank it on Shabbat and started to get the eyes wanting to settle down into the west. Shalom, Sister Kate. The Vances from the Buckeye State. Shalom, DMV. Okay. What I wanted to talk about the channel was, I went on the channel on a computer, whereas normally, like right now, I'm not on a computer. I'm on my phone. I have a mobile app to check videos and how many views and all that stuff on my phone. So I do a lot of uploading and checking things, reading your comments and replying on my phone. And that's one of the reasons why you don't often get a big long reply to your comment, because it's hard for me to sit there and tick, 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 I'm not a modern human. My daughter can do that with her thumb and read a book at the same time, but I can't. I've got to grip with my big fat fingers. Hang on. Aid, I have to accept your follow request. So I'll do that as soon as the live stream is over, I think. Unless you need me to do it sooner than that. But then I'd have to go to a different window, and I don't know how it's going to work with the live going on. Anyway, let me check your comments, and then I'll continue. I pull up PJ sermons for Shabbat along with Bear's Bible readings. That's probably a good thing. You'll get all sorts of bases covered there. The wine is good, but the condensate is very strong. Well, that's what happens, Wes, when you do that. You know that. Okay, message sent. Good. Great, Aid. So anyway, I was on my computer looking at the channel, and one of the things I can do is see who's channel supporters. I can look at comments that I haven't replied to yet. And then I know for a fact many of the videos I've uploaded lately, I don't put the tags on it. I'm just too busy, and a lot of times I don't do a really detailed description. I try to make them interesting. YouTube says you should write at least 3 paragraphs for every video because people who follow you are interested in what you have to say and blah, blah, blah. I don't always have time. And again, trying to write 3 paragraphs out on a mobile phone, not easy. But every, once in a while, I get the unction to go in there and try to correct that. And so I was on the channel today, and I just got curious, do I have any videos with over 1,000 views? Because over 1,000 views is really good for me. My channel average is somewhere between 300 to 600 views. And so I thought I'd check it out. And I did. And there was a way to stack the videos. And I had a pretty good amount that now have 1,000 views or more, because some of the videos are old, and that was kind of fun for me to go through them. And then I clicked on a few just to see what was it about that video that people liked. And so one of them was the one, you've probably seen it, the short video where I catch the duck, comes flying out of the duck house and I catch it, and that had more than 1,000 videos on it. And while I was looking through that list, I saw on the page, because the analytics gives you a graph and it shows you the minute you upload it and then how views are, and mine tend to go like this. Sometimes there's a lot of people wanting to watch it and sometimes there's none, or they'll start out good and then they'll kind of swoop down over time. And there was another rubric under it that I was really excited about. So it said, if your intro is good, and then it said if you have any part of your video that people really liked, like you got the most watches on, or a dip where people didn't like watching part of the video. And so I started looking through that and came to find out. Thank you, Gardner. Thank you, Colleen. I like it too. Come to find out, in some of my videos, there are moments, and I know you guys know because you guys watch them, where I'll either say, and I'll look off away from the camera, or I don't have the camera aimed right, and maybe I look at my feet, or, it gets knocked over, and that's where the dips were. And I knew that was true. I mean, when it happens while I'm filming, I feel bad about that. And I make the comment about, wow, I'd love to have a videographer so I don't have to worry about all that. But it also today, instead of making me feel bad about the videos, because I can edit some of that out if I'll sit down and take the time to upload it on an editing program and then sit through watching it and cut out, splice out pieces like that. But I actually got pretty encouraged. Okay, I need to understand the reality of these things because I can do better. And And like I had a video upload recently with the Terex in it, and we're doing things. I think it was called Doing the Things, and it had a decent amount of views and got some comments to my husband on, it's the best edited video we've done yet, or I've done yet. And I thought, okay, I need to watch that video, see what I did, make sure I do more of that. And so it did sort of get me more excited about making videos and putting in them the kind of things that you guys like to watch. And also I think, and I'm pretty sure most of my videos say in the first 30 minutes, or not minutes, the first 30 seconds, people are watching, they're interested. And the percentage of people watching the first 30 seconds is pretty high compared to later on in videos. So I thought, all right, good. At least my intros are something people enjoy. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Let's see what you guys are saying. Survey says that people who hit the like button are 80% more likely to win the lotto, says Wes. He's a good moderator. For the people that like you, we don't care. We just like you and your wisdom. Well, thanks, Colleen. And Grace Acre said agreed. Well, thank you. So of all the videos of mine that you've seen, and I don't know if you guys have seen just one or if you've seen all of them. I think there's 1,000 of them. Which one was your favorite? Do you remember? Because I was kind of surprised by my top 3, because I thought if I did videos that people like, then the top 3 should be all about the same topic. So Acres agrees with Colleen. One of my videos got over 9.5 thousand views the other day. What was it about, Aid? Shalom, Sister Kate. Thank you for taking the time for videos and your diligence. Take YouTube charts and opinions with a boulder of salt, says Ledwin. I'm not, I get a little mad at myself or a little bit upset with myself when I don't think I'm coming up with good topics, but I'm not going to get mad at a rubric because it's, it's a computerized thing and it saves me from having to crunch all the data. Multi-tool. Oh, you did a multi-tool video and you got almost 10,000 views. That's cool. But see, I could see that because people like multi-tools and are interested in them. Wow, Lamb, I'm the only one she watches regularly. Wow, that's a real, ooh, I feel good about that. Thank you. Mistakes and flubs are just real life, makes things more personable. Well, thank you. I like the one about building up your house. An oldie, but a goodie. See, Jana, I appreciate that just because you remembered it, even though it was an older video. And so I need to go back and watch that video. Simply because you said that. I like your winemaking and your gardening, says Colleen. So Colleen, it's kind of fun that you said that too, because I went back to watch my winemaking video this season, to watch it again because I couldn't remember the details of it, and was surprised to see it had like 2,200 views on it. And it was one of the first ones that came up if you put wild grape wine into the, the Google search or the YouTube search. My video came up and I thought, that's kind of interesting, because I certainly don't consider myself an expert, but I guess I just made it at a time when there probably weren't a lot. And so maybe it was the only one for a little while, but there's like 10 now. Forrest Oak says, I watch all your videos completely. So do you remember one in particular that you really liked? I watch because you are like-minded folks. Thank you. You're great at history. I read up on it. And your gardening, and the farming awesome because you're sweet. Well, thanks, gardener. My gardening, compared to some of the things I see on Instagram, people have beautiful gardens. Beautiful gardens. Mine is we wing it. We wing it. Not everything matches and it's not perfect. But I do get excited when it produces stuff. And it really hasn't overproduced. It's just very seldom we have too much stuff. But like the kale this year really makes me happy, even though it's not even big. It just lasted the whole from spring through summer into fall, and it's still there now. And I appreciate that. I really like the Biblical Wife Homesteading videos. Thank you. What is a good video, Wes? Did you say anything? You didn't even say anything. I love all your videos, says Just Me. Thank you. I like your videos about your tools and how you use what you have on hand to create whatever you need. Thank you, Grace Acres. I like those tools. And I was talking to my son today or yesterday. And I forget what he was saying. I think he had said he had figured out how you patch a tire. Now, he's very handy. He can work on cars. He does all kinds of car repairs. And I found it interesting that he had not seen a patch kit or had a patch kit, but he said someone showed him, like he got a flat tire driving somewhere and someone stopped and showed him the patch kit and they patched his tire and he went on his way. And he was so impressed with that when he got paid the next time, he, went out and spent $50 and got one of those. And he said, and Momo, because that's what they call me, I patched a tire on my van and it had 3 holes in it. And I patched them all myself and now I drive my van. He was so excited. And so I told him, you're that kind of person who you see something that's broken and you want to fix it and you're good at it and you end up fixing it. And he said, yeah, I guess that's true. Well, I'm the kind of person, when I get an inspiration or an idea, I just want to make the thing happen. I may not be an expert. Like when I built that duck house, I'm not an expert in construction, but I understand just enough concepts that I can make that thing sturdy. And it is sturdy. I forget how old it is now. It's probably at least 3 years old and it's doing okay. And just putting on the roof to catch the water and everything, that was my idea. It's not perfect. Those panels on there are not perfectly put on. They're probably not even that even, but they're on and they catch the water. And that's what I wanted. So thank you, Grace Acres, for saying that. And there was one other thing. Let me go back. Oh, Subby Acres, thank you. That's so sweet. That reminds me of one other thing. Wow, you guys have said a lot. Oh, someone else said that too. Someone else who knows us and is interacting with us regularly said that to me too. He said, I really like how you just put stuff together with stuff you have. And I never thought about it that way, but I didn't grow up, even though my family lived overseas and we had maids, we were not rich. And then when my father passed away, now I'm the daughter of a single mom. She's not making a lot of money, so we had to make do. And all through my, even when I was in college, I didn't have a lot of money. And then a newlywed, not much money. So making do just became, part of who I am. So thank you for saying that. And let me see if I can I like the Bumblefoot video. Interesting to learn how to wrangle a duck by yourself. I enjoy all of them though. I learned so much. Well, hey, Suze, thank you. I do remember doing the Bumblefoot, but the Wes S also has a Bumblefoot video and it has a bunch of views on it. I can't remember how many. I think over 1 million. It's very straightforward and it's really good information. Colleen says she's planting more grapes next year. Always a good idea to plant fruit-bearing stuff. Doing the things. I liked how you edited and filmed it. Plus, it had what's his name in it? PJ. Yeah, I need to go back and watch it one more time because I kind of copied a little bit of what I did from another channel I watched called Cross Timber Bison. But he has a videographer friend who does a lot of his editing and it's very smooth. You know what I mean? So I just tried to incorporate a little bit of what he does. So thanks. I'm at the age of can't remember. Guess I can watch them again now, says C103. I can't remember them all either. I was actually watching one. It was really short. It was like 3 minutes long. Man. I can't even remember. See, I can't even remember which one that was. I don't have the list either. Oh, well. The ones that are really interesting to me are the very, very early ones, because it's been 10 years since those were filmed, and so much has happened in 10 years, and so much has changed in 10 years. I mean, obviously I'm fatter and I'm grayer.
Oh, I still love you.
Thanks, sweetie. But like seeing the property and how little was on it, and then thinking about what we've gone on it now, it's nice for me to think, oh yeah, we have made progress. We feel like we're running backwards most of the time, but we actually have made progress. So that's kind of fun for me too. All right. I'm putting in raised bed just as I'm getting older, said Colleen. I think raised beds work really well. Ours is doing great. Sophie Aker says she likes the lives best. Oh, I think in the analytics, it did say that the lives get, I don't remember, 200 points more than the regular videos. I don't remember what exactly it was talking about, but they do go. There is Stephen Wilson, one old man, and channel supporter. Shout out, shalom from Graham, Washington. So somebody else on here said they were in the PNW too. There you go. There's another PNW. Yes, great to be able to watch old movies and not even know how they turn out. Laugh out loud, says Wes. Yeah. What did I do in that video? I don't even remember. Forest Dog says, I like your build videos. They give me inspiration to complete my projects, and I wing it most of the time as well. As long as it's functional, that's all that matters. Laugh out loud. So, one of y'all made a comment on one of my videos today about, might have been Mrs. Pleasance, because I made a comment about what I wear in the morning. And I look like a crazy person in the morning when I go take care of my chickens a lot of the time. But what she said was she wears like an outdated fur coat and some kind of boots. How did she say it? It was an E word. It's effective, but it's not excellent. It was something like not fashionable. And I thought that's right, eccentric. She said it's eccentric, but effective. And I thought, man, I should do a video about a whole new line of clothes for people of our age that's eccentric, but effective, right? Do a runway show of that kind of fashion. I think that'd be hilarious. I have to backtrack to plant foraging, now living on a forested acreage. Love your acorn videos, this says the Leadwood Mare. Well, thanks for saying that, because they have not gotten many views. And so it's probably because I'm not editing them and making them smooth. But I thought the topic was very interesting because acorns grow worldwide. So basically what acorns are is free food for you and your animals. And in a time when, there was drought and there's 100% of California counties were in drought, and, there's not going to be food and food shortages. I mean, just knowing that an oak tree can give you enough acorns for you to have flour for the next 5 years, I thought that would interest people. So thank you for saying that. I like seeing someone that doesn't have a perfect garden. It's more relatable. Well, thanks, Grams. Just Me said the acorn videos were great. Well, thank you, you guys. Because I was like, no one likes them. I don't know if I'm going to do anymore. As a matter of fact, I even spent part of today. Wait, someone's shining the light on me.
Shine the light on me.
Special guest appearance. Look, old man in the cottage.
Who you calling old woman?
We live out in the woods, you see.
Woman and the kids and the dogs and me.
That's right. Stoking the wood stove. Oh, okay. Soapy Acres, I like the video on how you built your greenhouse. Thank you, Soapy Acres. That was that was a joint collaboration there. I know Pastor Joe laid the brick, the double stack of brick in there, block, whatever they call it, and then we put the fence panels over it, but it sat there for 7 years uncovered. I still grow stuff in it, but I finally was like, you know what? That thing is supposed to have plastic on it, and you keep talking about it, and you never do it. Get out there and do it. And I'm glad I did, because it's working really well. Okay. I like your wine videos when you talk about educational topics. You talk about topics that are new to me. Very interesting. Well, thanks, Patty. There's half the time they're new to me, too. I get so excited when I find stuff that I didn't know anything about, and you know, it's interesting. Actually, our Shabbat Torah portions are getting really interesting because another woman in there and I read archaeological information and commentary and, you know, talk about the finds that archaeologists are discovering there in that part of the world about biblical topics and biblical places. It's really interesting. Rock Lick Ranch. I'm the kind of person that's really good at breaking things. Everyone can be. History and the duck foot care, said Christy B. And the duck thing, C103 lives in a duck house, but he has a duck everywhere. Here he goes. Ha ha, says Les. The duck stuff and the goose stuff, I didn't think I could get more into, you know, their health issues and stuff. I figured, you know, they're winging it. They seem to be doing okay, but I've lost a couple of ducks in the last year that I wasn't exactly sure what was going on, and then found out about the respiratory fungal infections they can get from wet hay and stuff, and all of a sudden I'm like, all right, I guess I need to pay more attention to their droppings and things. And so I recently ordered a bag of pelletized wormer to give to the goose, and it had helped. It did change the way their droppings were, and also the ducks got it. So, you know, even duck gut health is important. I should have given them Noosa. Or let's see. Really, sister, I understand. When you see the beautiful gardening videos, they are nice, but for the most part, not realistic. Your landing gardens are like everyone else's. Realistic. Yeah, that's so true. 2000K. Very proud of that Bumblefoot one. Yeah, you guys did a good job. It's the first one I think I saw in Bumblefeet. Making do makes for resilience. Colleen says, I want to make wine. Colleen, grapes you can make wine with, but you can make it with other things too. You can make persimmon wine. I mean, basically, it's just fruit, add water, sugar, and yeast, and you can make a wine. Like that plum wine I made. It's really good. Do what you can with what you got, where you're at. Wonder I heard that from. I go by that all the time, says Forest Dog. And I saw that recently as a quote from Theodore Roosevelt. So I'm wondering who was the original one to say that. It's always good to embrace our personality types. The making what you have work videos are great because I have comped and want to be resourceful and a good steward of those resources. Well, thanks. Oh, sorry. Something got in my eye. I like the ones where you take us with you while you do the things and talk about your experiences or about books or shows you're watching. Good to know again, Grace Akers, because when I do those, I think I'm boring everybody stiff.
Did you talk about the ones that nobody watches?
No, because I can't remember which one. Yes, the acorn ones.
Your cooking ones.
No, hardly any people watch the acorn ones. Hardly any people watch the cooking ones. And I'm sure it's because it's hard for me to get a correct angle in my kitchen. It's hard for me to get the camera to where it's, you know, it's not just staring up my nose, but it's coming down. So you don't, you know, I mean, get the correct angle and everything. But yeah, not very many people watch those. I'd like y'all to guess. I would like you all to guess, and you can go cheat if you want to, but I really would like you guys to guess. What are my top 3 videos? I've got them written down, so I cheated. And like I said, I would have assumed that if one of them is very popular, then all of them would be really popular. But the top 3 are 3 completely different topics. Okay. I do like your book recommendations, says Colleen. Awesome. Oh yes, resource and book recommendations are good too. Well, thanks. I do my morning chores in my long nightgown with a coat and pull on rubber boots. Don't think my animals would know me any other way, says Gardner.
Kind of woman.
You're our kind of woman, because that's what I do. I just throw on this long green thing that's not even a bathrobe. It's like a sack. And then I throw on my warm boots and a hat and a scarf and the gloves. And that's how I see them. I wear my plaid jammies and a woodland camo coat for morning chores, says Forward Dog. I remember, hey, Fishman12, hi. I remember one of Bear's first videos was, yes, we do chores in our pajamas. And he did that video after talking to us. And we talked about how we get up and
My
do our
pajamas
chores.
are sweats, so it doesn't look like I'm in pajamas, but I do my chores in my pajamas.
Yep, we do our chores in our pajamas. Eccentric and effective design. Sounds like me, right? Colleen says, PJ, how are you? He's fine. Fine and grumpy. You're very relatable to me, and that encourages me to just do the things, says Grace Akers. Well, thanks. Maybe a wood stove video. I'm in the market. I've done one or two. I didn't do one on the one behind me. It's a Canadian thing. What's it, honey? What's our wood stove?
Ours is a Pioneer made.
Oh, not
The
the,
longhouse is a Pioneer Princess.
no, the actual little wood stove here.
Oh, that's a North Point.
North Point. It's a Canadian one. It's not real big. It's in my videos. You can see me cook cookies on it and things. Not the big Pioneer made, but just a regular wood stove. North Point. It's Canadian and it's a good one, but it's not cheap. And then we've had $300 ones from TSC that worked okay, and the big wood stoves, cook wood stoves, work too. We have crazy winter in North Texas, hard on a greenhouse. Then I would probably put on the outside of it something heavier duty like canvas or something. But just having the covering over a framework like the fence panels gives the framework or the plastic or whatever a lot of support, because there's so many squares. And doesn't the whole thing should flex as one piece if you've got it completely covered and not just individual flapping in the wind. Patty Sanchez says, oh, could you add any Torah portion archaeological chats? I don't know, Patty. I'll have to get back to you on that, because some people there don't really want to be videoed. My dad always put the pig pen under a big oak tree, said Fisherman12, because pigs will eat acorns, turkeys will eat acorns, goats will eat acorns. Yeah. Custom builder, CMU concrete masonry unit. Wife built a very nice potato bed from said concrete blocks. There you go. See, custom builder new. I love when you're near the chickens and the rooster keeps crowing. He's not the only rooster who does that either. I swear they have a union or something, or they must telepathically be linked, because almost all homesteading videos where there's chickens, some roosters crowing in the background when the person's videoing. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Yes, Wes, she is. All right. How are PJ's rabbits doing? I'd love to see a quick video on them. This is my first winter with rabbits for the dogs. They're doing fine. They are in their pens. He occasionally feeds them weeds and gives them sticks to gnaw on, and make sure that they have water, not frozen, and feeds them pellets. Would love Torah portion archaeology videos. Again, I'll see. How do you leach the tannins out of the acorns? Just water. Good question, Philip Hales. I'm going to tell you, but I want to let you know that the video I watched is by a channel called Homesteading. Instead of homesteading, it's insteading. Has over 1 million views on it. If you just put in there processing acorns for food or something, that video is going to come up, and she tells you there's 3 ways. There's cold water leaching, there's hot water leaching, and then there's a third one that I don't remember because it's in her video. She only covers hot water leaching. And I've done cold water leaching, and it was basically Native Americans leave the acorns in a creek for a couple of days with water washing over them and then take them out. You can try that, but the hot water leaching, she said you boil them in water and then you change that water 3 to 10 times. So you boil them for a while, the water gets, very dark or whatever, you empty it, you fill it, and you boil them again. She said you taste test them, the bits of the acorn, and when it's slightly sweet and kind of mapley and not bitter is when it's done. And then you take them out, you dry the acorn stuff, and then you can grind it to make the flour. So that's the long answer. But yes, water. Machina opus like the snake one. That's incidental. If they're here, I can catch them and make a video. If not, no. Patty Sanchez, she likes the ducks, the wine, and question mark. Oh, reminder, bell icon. I didn't have it highlighted for your all. Cycle Prepper said. The ones where you were in Kentucky with bear. Oh, which one's the most popular? Okay, all right. So that's what you're saying. A snake one. Good guess, Grace Akers, but no, they were fairly popular, but no. Guessing one of your history videos is in the top 3. And good guess, but no. Winemaking, your duck flying when you're, winemaking, your duck flying when you and PJ are putting in the shed. Good guesses, y'all, but no. Are your tribe, Sukkot, Shavuot, and community building videos in the top? Nope. Acorn video was great and timely. I started to learn more about them this year. Roasted acorns and acorn coffee are tasty. Well, good. I'm glad. I love my husband. Getting tired of seeing me in it every day. I have to tie it down, says Colleen. Yeah, I have tie downs on my greenhouses too. Okay. Okay, maybe, Patty. I have to talk to my husband about that. Pretty town, okay. Rabbits are doing okay. Cold water works best. A scrappy cat. Has 2 big dogs. He explain the tanning leaching process. No problem. I just wanted to brag and tell you all God is good. My son graduated from welding this summer, received word he got the job of his dreams welding summer trailers at a big factory here. Amen, hallelujah. That's awesome news, Gardner. For the white oak acorns, how less tan is making them better tasting. Is that true? Yes, and she says in the video they're more buttery, but they also have more oil, so you got to process them as soon as you get them. The live driving videos, Lampkeeper says. Nope. All right, I'm going to tell you, because you guys are starting to talk about all sorts of stuff there. The top 3 videos on my channel, the number 1 video, this is the thing that cracks me up, is the MGTOW, the deeper discussion into MGTOW.
And they demonetized it, right?
I don't know that they did demonetize it. I don't think they did, but it has 14,000 views on it. So it is the top video on my channel. And I did just a series of them, like, I don't know, maybe 10, and it is number 1. And then the second one, with like 8,000 views, is single women over 50 and where to find a man. So we've got one that's about MGTOWs, one that's about single women, and the third one is one I did on Hurricane Harvey being a perfect prepping example. And that's the third one with 6,000 views on it. So like 3 completely different topics. The one was a one-time thing. I'm not going to do any more MGTOW videos. At least I don't think I am. And then the single women over 50, I did like 2 of them. I may do another one. And the Hurricane Harvey, which was years ago. Like, I wonder if I did a Hurricane Ian video right now, if it would get that many views on it.
You gotta do it during the hurricane.
Right? I think it's just funny. Forstock says, I need to watch the over 50 video again. And Lambkeeper says, those show up in my feed all the time. Isn't that funny? Soapy Acre says, hang on. Hey, that's a great video. Is which one? I have to bounce you and Aid keep the ruffians in line. All right, Wes, thanks for hanging around and moderating. Maybe all 3 were dropped on rainy days, so everyone was inside, says Mark. Sister Kate's Extreme Weather and Dating Advice channel says Machina Opus would be a moneymaker.
When was the last time you went on a date?
No, he meant I was giving advice. My other video that has more views is called Single Women Over 50.
Point is you and I haven't had to ask somebody out on a date for what, 40 years?
We haven't had to go out on a date, but I know where men hang out.
Watch it.
I've been to lots of firing ranges with my man, and there are lots of men at those firing ranges. MGTOW, he thinks. That my MGTOW was a great video. I should rewatch it if it was that good. Maybe I can get some tips. I think that's funny though, Machina Opus. I'm over 50, my husband has passed away, and I'm not thinking of getting remarried. Well then, Colleen, you don't need to watch my video. That's fine. If God wants me to have a mate, he'll send me one. Not looking, I made bad choices, says Scrappy Cat. I think I addressed that in the video. And the video was not about me pointing fingers at people and saying, you need to do this, that, or the other. It's just advice. I like the over 50 video. I need it. I'll be 55 soon. Yikes. I do have some over 50 videos, but they don't get as many views. I know I was watching a lot of old videos when we got the bad snowstorm a couple of years ago. Just binge watch them. Some of them are just not very good. I couldn't edit in the good old days. I used YouTube's editing when they had it, and then we finally got our own editing program. You are not a widow indeed until you're 70 years old, according to the big man.
65.
The big man upstairs.
I think it's 65.
I think it's
70.
I think it's 70. I think it's 70. Peace to all those who know Yah, and grace abundantly to all as well. God bless, says Wes S. The over 50 is a great video. Single women over 50. You think that's a great video, Aid? Or is it one of the other over 50 videos? Scrappy, I'm in the same boat. I seem to scare them away with my homesteading and winging it. Laugh out loud. You can be too independent, I suppose. Oh, excuse me. I've gotten closer to God since I turned 50 than any other time in my life. Well, he grabbed hold of us right after we had our first child. And we said, we got to give this kid some values and some morals, and started wondering where we got them. And that led us on our quest to find God. Sort of. CB says thumbs up. Same. Oh, that was another something that I found out. I'm 48, so it's a video that may come in handy. All right, shalom. Good night, Jana. YouTube also tells you what your audience numbers are mainly made of by age group. And mine are like from 30 to 70. Like there's almost no 20 years or younger watching me at all. 50, 60, and 70 are interesting ages. When you've been alone for over 20 years, you have to be independent to survive. Unfortunately, now, says Krabby Cat. It's true. You got to be tough, and that's not always easy. And whether you were intentionally alone or not, you just get into habits and used to your ways, and it annoys you when someone else does in another way. All right. Hang on. Lots of comments all of a sudden. The pandemic caused me to read my Bible instead of just going to church, says Graham's Garden. Isn't that interesting? And I'm sure you're not the only one. Old age ain't for sissies, says Gardner. That's right. And I forget who said that. Art Linkletter or somebody. Fishman 12 says 47 years with my loving wife. Wow, that's pretty impressive, especially these days. My pagan son is getting ready to be single. After his first marriage experience, I feel sorry for any future woman. They're going to walk the straight and narrow, or he's going to run. I'm at the upper end of that age scale, says Rocklick Ranch. 64, soon to be 65. And look at us, deciding we want to go live out on our own, build our own houses. What's wrong with us? It's just too crowded down in the flatlands. We could have a long chat about Yah's will and plan for women. We sure could. He's pretty clear in there. You're to be married and teaching younger women about how to be a good wife. But once you're 70, like just me, you're just his servant for the rest of your days. I don't have the word sitting right here in front of me. And if I get up, then I'm going to boom, boom, boom. I'll only be 72, says Dilbert. Let's see. Now, see, I'd have to Google on my phone and all that. I'm pretty sure that's in Timothy. Pretty sure it's in Timothy about what the women are to be doing. What is your plan garden come spring? Good question, because spring comes early for us. I intend to plant turnips as soon as I have to get more seeds, because I think I planted all my turnip seeds and they didn't all come up because of the drought. But put in peas and turnips. I just got more broccoli or Brussels and cabbage. So if they haven't started growing really big by next spring, I'll probably plant more of those. I need to get some of that black plastic down on some of the beds that have weeds grown up in them. I want to improve the soil with rabbit manure, peat moss, what do you call it? Compost, blood meal, bone meal, all that stuff. I want to get fertilizer down on the ground because I still have some from the bag I bought last year. Guess I need to go support Wes or keep him away. Thanks for the chat. Good night, Mark. I know it's later where you are. I'd probably be already in bed and not up for staying up late. Besides, most of my chats are about an hour long, and we're coming up on an hour, so we can all get off together here in a second. I'm super excited for spring. We planted a bunch of garlic, and I want to see how it will do. We have garlic still out in our beds that we planted like 8 years ago and don't harvest it all at once, so it just keeps going. Just keeps going. And the walking onions are the same. I don't really plant onions. I just use them if I need onions. Wes S. Raid. I compost almost everything, says Colleen. Me too. 1 Timothy 5:9, Grace Acre said, throw it out there, lady. If you can copy paste it. You were fast, Grace Acres. You were fast. Anybody else have spring garden plans already? Same thing with the kale. If the kale is still there, I'm not going to plant more. But if something happens to the kale, I'm going to put more greens in that bed. Got a big barrel and just keep adding. Our compost is 3 pallets, or no, it's actually like a box made out of pallets. And I do the same. I just keep throwing stuff in there. I've been shelling dried pole beans and bagging them. Awesome. Colleen says she got hers. I would love to be a chapter and verse person. What do you mean by that, Lamp Keeper? To just know it? I left a nice orchard, have to plan a new one. Yep. The orchard will need pruning in February, and then I'll be watching out for that leaf rot on the peaches in spring. And if it starts showing up, I'll do what my daughter did, and I'll strip the leaves off. I do have a question for you all, especially you, Aledwin. My peach trees have not dropped their leaves. All their leaves are still on, and they're all green. Is that normal? Because I thought peaches, don't like cold temps. We've had temps in the 20s, and the leaves are still green and on the trees. Thunder Chicken Tactical Ranch. I only celebrate my 29th birthday every year for the last 24. That's one way of doing it. 29 and holding. Dated and lived with another. Wait a minute, I'm missing something, Scrappy Cat. You must have said something. No? All right, let me go back. Dated and lived with another for 10 years, but realized his care for my needs wasn't there. Too many lies, so I've thrown myself into teaching my babies. We will have a spring garden at school. Awesome. We always grew a lot of flowers, but having fun with vegetables the last couple of years, says Machina Opus. Vegetables taste better. Clark Giles, I'm planning on a larger garden area and greater variety. Clark's already got a huge garden, but that's good. It's a good goal. That's a very good goal. Tim Dunnigan, NOI leaves dropped in PNW. No leaves dropped in PNW? Tim, I wanted you to know, you sent us a picture of a fig tree that you got with like 500 figs on it or something. I finally tasted figs from our tree this year, and my gosh, they were so good. I finally figured out when they get ripe. I figured out to prune the tree so that they would bear fruit, and it was just absolutely delicious. So I thought of you when I finally got to do that. Green beans, tomatoes, and onions, green okra, cilantro, sweet peppers, hot peppers, and potatoes, sweet potatoes. Amen. We will be doing our starts earlier this year. The little greenhouses we got worked really well, so I think they'll be useful in the spring. Excellent. My mom's been 35 or 50 years now, says Gardener 67. Quince, figs, plum, all green and dried, but not dropped. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it's the peaches, the cherry trees, and the pear trees all still have green leaves on them. It's really weird. But see, you're a different climate than we are, sort of, right? Know the word and try to live it, says Scrappy Cat. Yeah, just know the chapter and verse to quote. I'm like, it says it in the Bible somewhere. Well, one way to get better at that, Lamp Keeper, is to, under the topic that you want to talk about, just grab like 2 or 3 verses and use them as your go-tos, and you'll remember them. Planting more grapes and fig trees. Yeah. Made a list of what did well, where I want to make changes in location or number of plants, composted the beds, planted garlic, felt good about how I put the bed to sleep. Seed plant is ready to. Patty, I had a sister go visit Patty, and she said Patty's garden is phenomenal. So I believe everything she says there. Haven't heard of retaining leaves. When in doubt, leave alone and water lightly. 750 figs this year, says Tim. That's a happy fig tree. Whatever you're doing for it, it's very, very happy. I'd say we probably had 50 figs, but they came on at different times, and so like the drought and blah 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 blah. But it was good. My peach tree still is, but they will lose them in time, says Colleen. Protect the fig roots with lots of mulch. Yes, we do. And I planted another one in the orchard, so we actually have 4, not 3. Home garden will happen. Off track right now, so I will do the prep for my spring garden. There you go. What kind of figs does he have? I don't know. I know I've got 2 brown turkey and 1 organic something or other, and then a white fig that's supposed to be more cold resistant. We will have a garden, but I want to focus on getting fruit and nut trees and berry bushes going. Yes. Did you guys hear in one of my videos that we found huckleberry bushes on the property? Hey, Bear. Welcome to the live stream. Long time no live chat. There were bushes here, and my daughter-in-law would see them and say, wow, they look a lot like blueberries, but we never saw fruit on them. Duh. Well, you're supposed to prune fruit-bearing trees and bushes. But I also was checking at the wrong part of the year. I would check in midsummer, and the fruit we found this year was October. So we know someone else said, oh yeah, that's a huckleberry. It looks like a huckleberry, to prune those bushes. And there's 30 or 40 of them on the property, maybe more. Like they're in more than one location. So hopefully this upcoming summer, if we prune those things and put manure down, rabbit manure at the very least, we will get huckleberries. And I would love that, as long, as well as the blackberries that grow wild here. What's up, Bear? He says our pin oaks are green and lively while everything else is dropping leaves. Oaks drop their leaves after all other trees. So the oaks from last year are like dropping their leaves now. But oaks are the last ones to drop leaves. And pin oaks are the kind that turkeys like to eat. What zone is he in? He's up in the Pacific Northwest, Colleen. I only had 2 tomato worms, so any plantings seemed to work well. Interesting to see what did well in the earth bags and what didn't. The lamp keeper, I do what I do. When I get put on the spot, my mind goes blank, it burns me up. Well, and that's what Google's for. Up to 151 batches now through the freeze dryer with this year's garden. That thing has run over 4,500 hours since April 2021. Clark, not that you're bragging or anything, but no, Clark grows a lot of food. He has a very good garden and a big garden. So that's awesome. Colleen's in zone 7, so figs should grow fine for you, I would think, Colleen. There's Mrs. Lovely Dudley. Shalom. So Bear, you're home for a minute, right? From your latest deployment. My peach tree did amazing in Michigan this year. 2 bushels from it. Lost light. The tree puts on fruit, but then this rot kills it. So I have had a struggle with that and figured out just this past spring how to make it so the fruit won't rot. And then what fruit was there and ripe, the crows ate. So I'm going to have to bag them and cover them and do all sorts of things. Shalom, everyone. Have a good evening, says Soapy Acres. Grace Acre says, I found persimmon trees on my property. Bam! Persimmons are awesome, but deer really like them. So if you have them, 1, you want to prune them. 2, you may have to cover your fruit with those bags, or the deer and the squirrels and everything may eat them all. All right. What kind of fig do you have and what zone are you in? Off to lunch, says Machina. Thank you for sharing some of your channel's analytics. Very interesting. You're welcome, Machina. Thanks for dropping by. I'm raising mealworms. They just turned into beetles. In 10 days, they will start laying eggs, 40 eggs a day for 3 months. Then it'll get real. Mealworms galore. That will save you lots of money, and your birds will love them. Jesus says, I found a persimmon, just still haven't seen the tree. Need to do some more exploring. Yes. Shalom, you have a great week. Work comes in early morning, off to bed. All right, good night, Zub Zub. I fertilize my grapevines with nothing but rabbit poo, and they produce like crazy, says Colleen. Yeah, they do. They like it. I forget what I read that said how to tend grapevines, but they said grapevines particularly like rabbit manure. So you're doing the right thing. Yes, ma'am. Home for now. Always ongoing shenanigans. How are your cattle doing in this weather and your other critters? Hey, Suze, I believe I found the tree, but the fruit was on the ground. I've got it marked so I can watch it next year. You're probably right there too, Grace Acres. If it was under it's probably the right one. Colleen says my fig trees froze. Well, the frost is going to kill the leaves. And you can prune your fig trees back, but it is good to mulch them when it's really, really cold. Like I've had mine look like they died back, and I cut the dead, quote unquote branches because there were multiple stalks, and they just grew new branches out of the root. So don't get, completely weirded out yet. Got overspray damage from soybean on my grapes. Ugh, that's no fun, Tom. My grapes are wild, so I just have to pick the vine I want to tend and then go chop it and fertilize it, and then it does its own grow thing. So I've got many choices on my property, but I'm really sorry that happened. There's Westhold Forge. I'm here. What did I miss? A whole bunch, Westhold. I don't think we can cover it all in 2 seconds. Basically talking about channel analytics. I don't know if you look on your videos at your analytics, but it's actually pretty good information if you want to try to improve your video quality. Bear doesn't need to do that. His are already really good quality. But for the rest of us who struggle on by ourselves, I found the information really helpful in how I want to do videos, hopefully ongoing. Also, Wes Hold is a medieval skills person. He has a lot of medieval knowledge about food and tools and clothing, and his blacksmithing. He's making medieval style spearheads and arrowheads and hammers and so on. So he's kind of a fun guy to talk to, and thank you for the channel. There's Lone Star Living. He is also a moderator. We got 2 moderators in here. Wielding the wrenches. Shalom, y'all. Sorry I'm late. Guess I'm square. That's right. Be here or be there or be square. You're the square, Lone Star Living. How is your homestead doing? How are your sheep? How is your daughter? Please fill us in on all the latest. Bear, Pastor Joe, and Saw are my mentors. John Cox, they're nice people. I've met them all, and I really like talking to all of them also. There's Mosby Man, Ozarks. Greetings, SK and PJ. PJ is already in bed. He's probably watching a video and with the headphones in. But we enjoyed seeing you recently and discussing your shed home and things. Mosby Man has known us a very long time, and he is the one who planted the bamboo that is still growing on our property years and years ago. No trees on my property when I moved here. So you planted them, Colleen. Good for you. I had a late surprise tomato plant. I brought it in the house, put it next to a very sunny window, and it's growing big, Eastern Massachusetts. Well, good, CB. I'm happy. I have tomatoes that are ripening now that I cut right before that frost, but I kept part of the vine with the tomatoes, like you see in the store. Like here I am with my scissors. Yes, scissor hands cutting my tomato plants. But I made sure that there was some vine attached to the tomatoes, and so I just left them in a bowl here in the house, and they've ripened over time. So now it's almost Thanksgiving. I still have ripe tomatoes in the house. Bear says cows are great. Sheep are doing well, going into lambing season now and dropping babies. Homegrown turkey and a full U on the menu for Wednesday. Nice. Yeah, I think Clark was talking about possibly turkeys too, and And turkeys, the cool thing about turkeys is you can feed them basically just grass. Now, I'm sure you probably give them grain because we're Americans and we don't, how do I put it? Like we're going to buy hay, we're going to buy grain, we're going to give it to our critters, etc., etc. But turkeys, if you can get them through the whatever they call the baby turkey stage, poult or something, are actually a really good bird to grow on a homestead. Our sheep are doing well too, but we have no idea if lambs are coming or not. She planted apples, peaches, grapes, and blackberries. Smart move, Colleen. Till next time, happy Thanksgiving all, says Fisherman 12. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's see what else. Westhold's got a video with 32,000 views now. Ooh. Which one is it? Is it the short where you're doing the garden or whatever? I really want figs. I love them. I never liked them, Colleen, until I tried that one. I thought Fig Newton cookies were gross. Love to bow suiting. Sheep are well, daughter's growing like a weed. Homestead has lots of projects as usual. Enjoying the wood stove the past few days. Do you have a big wood cook stove too, Lone Star Living? Sister Scissor Hands, there I am. Engineered to succeed. Wild turkeys are mighty tasty and they don't get fed grain. That is true. They are very tasty and they eat acorns, amongst other things. God's blessings to you with the turkey. I had to buy mine at Kroger. They were in for $45 to $90. That's highway robbery. They were 98 cents a pound in our area, but we're near the people who grow them in the longhouses. Ask me about my attacked turkey sometime. Well, please tell us. Sister Kate, please never doubt that you are an inspiration. Some are surrounded by naysayers. Your advice is very welcome. Well, thank you, Aledwin. It's the Bodkin Arrowhead one. It's got a good name, too. That helps. But yeah, good. I think that's wonderful. Colleen wants to raise turkeys. Lone Star. Oh, good to hear she's going, but she's running around the house. Wild turkeys also like to eat hickory, nuts, and pecans. Nice. Yep, we've got 11 goats, and our Billy goat died earlier, a couple months ago, and I have no idea who's kidding when, because the year before that, I was not in charge of our goats, and so the Billy and the nannies were mixed and not mixed at different times, and everyone looks fat right now, so I have no idea. Seen turkeys for $1.08 a pound. 49 cents a pound in Southern Ohio. Wood burning stove just in case. They're always a really good option to have. They're 49 cents a pound in Kentucky, 88 cents a pound at my local grocery store on sale tomorrow, says Forest Keeper. Paid $4.50 for a dozen eggs today. Can't wait to get chicken, says Lamp Keeper. Yeah, we haven't bought eggs in a while. There are some times, even when you do have chickens, when your chickens are molting, that they don't lay eggs. So I have had to buy eggs occasionally, but not a lot. I just really find it very convenient to walk to my coop, grab some eggs, and cook with them. Let's see. Hey, that's in Michigan. Was unfortunate. I wish I could have waited a week or so. They are down some now. I feel like yanking mine out of the freezer and taking it back. Well, I know for a fact our bird is, one I bought when they were really cheap, and it's been in a freezer for a while. How do you preserve eggs, says Graham's Garden. There's a thing called egg glass. Someone else might say it's lime. You dip it in that, and supposedly that will let them last for 6 months. I also just saw on Instagram the Irish way to do it is to cover the eggs in butter and then leave them covered in butter, and they last up to 6 months. So that's 2 ways. You can also cook them and dehydrate them, and then you'd have them powdered, and they'll last forever. $2 a dozen from our Amish friends. That's a pretty reasonable price. Rock Lick Ranch for, kind of fresh. Westhold Ford says I pickled a bunch of eggs and they're pretty good. I pickled them at the same time he did. He and I were pickling eggs around the same time. And I tried mine as soon as I pickled them and they were kind of funky. I haven't tried them since and I should because someone else said they're better after like 6 weeks. So you can pickle eggs too. I scramble eggs, let them cool, and freeze them in portions. You can do that. My chickens have kind of stopped laying. I'll get a few weeks here and there. Well, and Colleen, if you don't have a heat lamp in your coop, your older birds especially will probably stop laying over the winter months because there's not enough sunlight. Chickens need 14 hours of sunlight a day to keep laying, and often when in winter they don't get it, so they stop. It's usually your newer birds that'll keep laying. Store brand turkey, 98 cents a pound a couple of days ago. Yep, I've seen that too. Boss baby, toddlers have such huge personalities. They do. Don't wash them, they last longer. Yep. I've had them last for a couple of months on the counter when they're dirty. Gardner says I get a dozen eggs a day now for my girls. I'm just getting like 5 out of, 20 birds, but half of them are young. And then the other half are older. Water glass, that's what it is, Colleen. Westhold said, I went a little heavy on the vinegar. I had a lot of vinegar, but I did curry as one of my flavors on mine. And I'm like, I don't know if that was a smart choice or not. Crocodiles, I freeze dry eggs at 15 dozen at a time. Also supply a couple of ladies that water glass them, but I don't know the process. So there's another one, freeze drying. You put canning, lime, water, etc., and save them in a jar, says Colleen. There you go. I use an LED light on timer to fix that and get eggs all winter. Yes, you can have eggs all winter if you have a heat lamp or a light in your coop. I just don't have one. I let them rest for the winter time and I make do. My wife water glassed a few dozen eggs when we were getting a surplus of eggs. Excited to try them this winter. Well, there you go. Yeah, I haven't really done a whole lot of long-term storage on my eggs because I'm lazy. Excuse me. I did want to do the hard-boiled ones because at that time I had like 60 eggs sitting around my kitchen and I just felt guilty, thinking I'm just going to let them go bad and throw them away. That was a bad plan. So that's when I decided to can them, pickle them. All right, love y'all. Just me. Good night. Good night, lady. I'm glad you got to come to the live stream and I hope you enjoyed it. What else can I talk about? I've talked about my channel thing. See, it gets late at night and the old brain starts shutting down. Let me look at my notes if I had anything else. Oh. One other video with 9,000 views was how to handle friends who think shit hits the fan is crazy. That got 9,000 views too. So obviously, if you're a person who's a prepper, lots of people who are preppers have people in their families or friends who don't get prepping. They don't get the concept of it. They don't understand it. And I think that's why it has the views that it has. But yeah, I have no million view videos, and it would surprise me if any one of mine ever had that happen. Doesn't water glassing suck all the moisture out of the eggs so they're kind of solid? That I don't know, Westhold Forge. I thought what it does is just closes up the pores that are in the egg and keeps it from being able to dry out. If the eggs get a little old, I cook them for the dog. Well, there's an idea. Force dog, I'm getting an egg a day right from my 12 hens right now. That's awesome. Clark, that's what I do. Dogs love scrambled eggs in their hard food. Yeah, my dogs would eat all the extra eggs I had, but I don't always want to. They're spoiled enough as it is. I don't always want to keep spoiling them. I need to watch That Says Graham's Garden. My friends think I'm nuts. Well, what are you doing to make them think you're nuts? Just trying to put up food and grow a garden? I mean, that shouldn't be seen as nuts, but there's Grandma Ginger's farm. Shalom, y'all. May Yah bless. I didn't even know you came into the chat. Grandma Ginger's farm. Good night. Yes, you garden a little and you are thought of as crazy. See, everybody used to garden in the good old days before stores, supermarkets and stuff. It's not that weird to garden. Almost every holy book tells you to prepare. There you go. I mean, that's the way people lived. That's how people fed themselves. And use a clothesline. Oh, well, then I'm crazy too, because I've been using a clothesline for the past 10 years, and really for the last probably 25 years. So I must truly be insane. I had a dryer in Kansas, but even wintertime I would use a dryer, but summertime when there's sun outside, I would hang a whole row of clothes out there. Most of my friends and family got tired of me badgering them to put back food, so they started doing it just to shut me up. They're going to thank you later, Westhold Forge, for that. We had friends who lost their jobs, and because they had food put up, they didn't have to worry about the next meal, where that was going to come from. They just got into the prep stores and ate out of them. So it's good. The government wants people to think that being prepared and canning isn't the way to go. They're convinced people we are all crazy. The government also recommends everybody have 2 weeks of food stored up. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if someone thought I was crazy, at this point, I don't care. I don't care. Pastor and I figured out what we wanted in life, and we are living it, and we are happy. So no one has a problem with my prepping, but Torah, blank stares. Oh yeah, lamp keeper, there's a sore topic for you. There's a sore topic for you right there. We have friends whose mother gave them land, and they were all getting ready to build a house on it. And she found out they were following Torah, and she kicked them. She evicted them. She had the sheriff nail the eviction notice to the fence of the house that they were staying in on the property while they were building their own house. That's how mad she got, and just evicted her own child off the property. Oh, there's J Fox 7, Shalomo the Momo from the dark. Hello. We're talking about how people just turn away from other people when they find out you keep Torah. That person sounds like a Babylonian mom sowing some hard seed to reap. Well, this is the thing, right? Because I try very hard to get my children to come see me. Right? I try very hard. And if one of them said, I want to live near you, and we gave them property, because we kind of have already made that offer, and they said, yep, we're going to do that thing, I would be so happy. I mean, she could have had helpers right down the street from her. She could have been seeing her grandkids regularly, and she just cut it all off out of pride. And it's really, it's very sad. Blood is thicker than water. It sure is. I used to clothes on all my life. In 65, we've always had a garden, and we can preserve as much as we can. That's what my grandpa did too. My grandfather was a bellhop for part of his life, and then he was a house painter. He was a very smart guy, but he gardened like a crazy man. His house in his little town in Indiana had, I think, over 60 rose bushes in the yard. And he also gardened in friends' yards who were disabled or whatever, and grew huge plants, very good gardener. So I saw him do that, and I saw my mom do some gardening, even though she was a single mom and worked full time. And I just keeping an old family tradition. And then Joe Fox VII gardens as well. Just joining in, says Kevin Little. Hey, hi SK. Hi. And Joe Fox 7 is also someone who in the last 2 years has bought milk cows. If you guys put on my channel and you've seen me share milk cow videos, that's his cattle. He's gone from like 0 cattle to 9 cattle in a couple of years, and milking these cows for all their family's milk needs, and they make cheese and kefir and yogurt and all kinds of stuff from it. So like if your friends think you're crazy for prepping and having Torah, you're in the right company, because the rest of us are like that too. Yeah, it's a pretty cool. I mean, and that cow just had a calf too. Cute, 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 cute. I love the jerseys. I love the look of those cows. Just the brown and the big eyes. Yeah. Anybody else having problems? About to slaughter our first owned beef raised from a little guy on our milk cows, porterhouse, aka porker house. I've seen that cow. He's a good looking cow too. He's got nice coloring, and he did grow big, being able to feed from those milk mamas. Whew. Wow. So are you guys going to do the slaughtering yourselves, or are you going to have someone come out and help you? Because that's a pretty big job. What's that mean?
You've been on a long time.
Oh. Well, other people have showed up. Jersey cows have a much higher protein content in their milk. We raise them, hang on, raise them growing up. Video PJ did on all 3 of your kids. Very smart and well-spoken offspring you got there. Well, thanks, Thunder Chicken Tactical Ranch. I thought so too. They did a really good job on that video. Colleen loves to garden. Next year's beef called Butterball. We're going to have my wife's mom-in-law come to help. To help cut up the beef, you might need to call in more help than that. Oh, my wife's mom-in-law. That's, yeah, I get it. Wink, wink. Who could that be? Maybe to babysit. You need professional to do a cow. That's a heck of a lot of cutting. No cattle, just chickens, ducks, and rabbits. There you go. Oh, also, a beef is way more work than a deer, that's for sure, says Westhold. Yep, I have a freezer beef calf named Brisket. Nice. We got a local guy that used to work in a butcher shop. If brother Alex can't do it, wife dying over here, we sassing about you doing it. Yeah, of course you're sassing. That's what she does. My daughter-in-law, she's a sasser. Where did she learn that, I wonder? He has all the tools, etc. knowledge, yeah. Well, Clark, you need to put pressure on that fella, Alex. Get that butchery up. It's got a future customer right there. You can help wrap the pieces or something. I hope you have chocolate chip cookies ready to feed me. Sister Kate, that look when you got it. Colleen will be raising a few lambs. Lamb tastes really good too. If Bear's still on here, and he's probably not, but if he is, he can swear. Lamb is very, very tasty. Well, sister and crew, I gotta go. My phone battery flashing and cord plugged in another room. God blessing to you all. Thanks for coming by, Gardner67. Always good to see you. I got the signal from my husband to go like this too, but I don't want to do that when I have my son on here and people like Engineered who's to Succeed who just showed up. I feel like that's kind of rude. Oh, I bought a brisket recently. I bought a brisket when we went to High Prairie Acres and got a decent price on it. And I plan on making beef bacon with it. I just smoked a few wild turkey legs. Man, them is good eating, says Engineer to Succeed. Yes, smoked meat is really good. It tastes really good. Smoked venison is good for sandwiches. We have a little space for a decent garden. Luckily, my cousin has a big farm and butchers their own. We can always get a half or whole cow at family discount. That's an awesome deal right there. Beef bacon, Lampkeeper says, do a video. I'm telling you, my food videos do not get a lot of views. I mean, I could do it, but I get discouraged about it. What else did I say to my son and daughter-in-law? Oh, you already knew. We played Agricola till like midnight the other night, and that was interesting because we had people from, I was the most experienced, to people who were just trying it for the first time, and it's always fun to watch them play the game. It's called Agricola, and it's all about having a farmyard. Well, Lampkeeper, you'll probably be the only one. There'll be one view. Hey, Teresa Jukowitz, you're back. I would think people would love to learn to cook on a wood-fired oven. Foxborough Homestead, was it a whole new game or just a more player extension? It was a player extension, but it was the whole game. It had cards and it had the pieces and everything, and it had like a puzzle piece that you could put in for if you had more, or just the regular setup if it was like 5 people. Thunder Chicken Ranch would watch it. It's amazing. Last year we cooked a whole bunch of pies at once. Oh, in the wood stove. Well, I think I did 1 or 2 videos on cooking on the wood stove, but I guess I could try doing one more. Like tonight I cooked, oh, you guys will get this. Foxborough. I made plum jam. I have wild plums on the property. I made plum jam from them a couple of times, and the jam tastes good, but the skins of the plums are very thick. And so when you eat the jam, it's like you're chewing, this plum skin, and some people really don't like it, including my husband. Well, tonight I was going to bake chicken in the oven, and I was going to do Italian chicken where you just put a Italian dressing on the meat. But I've done that a lot lately. And so I thought, I want to try to cook him something that, he'll like the flavor of, but I haven't done lately. And so there's a recipe in the family for apricot soy garlic chicken that I got from my mother-in-law. And I haven't made that in a really long time, and I didn't have any apricot jam. So I thought, I'd really like to make that for him. But, what do I have to substitute for the apricot jam? And then I remembered the plum jam. So I poured plum jam mixed with soy sauce and cut up garlic on top of this chicken thighs, and I put it in the wood stove. And then on the top, I cooked the rice, and we had salad as our side dish. So that's not really utilizing the whole oven the way I like to. But tonight, if I had not done this live stream, I probably would have made chocolate chip cookies just because the stove was hot. And you can, I don't know how many pies did we make in there at one time. I think we had 6, 7, 9 pies in there at one time. I mean, it just holds a lot. My wife just subscribed to your channel and wants you to do a video on beef bacon. All right, so that's 3 people who want it. Look I will do a video on it, but Jay Johns has already done a recipe on it. Oh, thank you, Teresa and Mrs. Lovely Dudley. It was really good. What was I trying to say? Oh, it's just the concept of beef bacon, okay? This is the thing that got Shelby and said they would watch it too. That got the when we gave up bacon because we followed Torah, and everyone's like, "Oh, the one thing I'm gonna miss to eat is bacon." That's when I had the thought, bacon is not a special thing. Bacon is simply a salted, smoked meat. That's it. It's a fatty, salted, smoked meat. And it's just like pickles. Beef bacon, delicious. You can buy from Golden Belt Beef. Okay. Well, I'm going to try to make my own. It's just like pickles. Now, everyone thinks of pickles, yes, it's a cucumber, right? But the thing about pickling is it's the brine, not the vegetable. And so you have a vinegar brine with some salt and, some dill, or if you want to make it sweet, then you put the sweet stuff in there. And then you could put anything in that brine and it tastes dill, right? Beef bacon is the best. We were singing its praises at Sukkot, and someone we were talking to immediately ordered 34 packages. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a lot of bacon. Well, just think of a brisket, right? Because once I said, a smoked salted meat, like you could do that with anything. You could make a venison bacon. You just take some venison and maybe wrap it in a fatty hamburger or something, I don't know, and put it in a salt brine and then smoke it. And you would have venison bacon. And then I was trying to think, okay, well, what's a fatty beef meat? And that's brisket. Brisket is very fatty. There, see, he did pickled turnips and they're awesome. I've done pickled cauliflower and it was awesome. It's the brine, that's the flavoring, and it's the same thing for the bacon. Lamb bacon is also a thing, says Foxborough Homestead, right? For us Torah keepers, we want a meat that is clean for us to eat that has the same salted smoked flavor. And so there you go. Short rib section. The briskety bits are not the same. They taste like brisket. Well, that's what Jay Jones makes his out of. He makes it out of brisket, and it's really good. A good marble chuck might work well for bacon, right? Or even ribeye. I pickle and smoke cow heart and tongue all the time. Kevin Little says, delicious. So, and don't forget the sage, right? You can add whatever spices you want on your bacon. You can have a garlicky bacon. You can have a sagey flavored peppery bacon. You could have all sorts of things. Cow heart is great in hash. Well, I'm pretty sure Foxborough had cow tongue. Pickled smoked cow heart? Yum, see? Little tongue is one of the best cuts, says Westhold Forge. There you go. You want to talk about some medieval cooking? There you go. Cow tongue smoked and brined. Come on. That's how they kept meat fresh in those days. They salted it in barrels or they smoked it. Prepper what, Colleen? See, Prepper what, Colleen? I get you and Colleen Rodemer mixed up. And when she says things like, I have animals, I think of you. But there you are. And thanks for supporting the channel. She lives in North Texas too, Colleen Rodemer. But she's like 55. There's no way you're 55, right? Prepper what, Colleen? I stuffed the car heart with mushroom, onion, and spinach. I liked it. Husband did not. See? Ground turkey spices up as a good sausage. There you go. Sure. Just followed you on Instagram, said Engineered to Succeed. Well, thank you. Ooh. Yep. I'm back on the grams. Purple Walk Colleen, live in Indiana, and I am 51. See, that's why I got you guys confused. I'm sure she came on a live stream and said she was Colleen, and I know I said to her, I thought you lived in Indiana. And she's like, no, I live in North Texas, and I thought it was you. Law discovery. We have figured out two Colleens. There's two of you guys. Okay. All right. So you live close to the Potts family, and I was trying to connect you with them just to get more Torah observant people information. That's you. And you have donkeys, right? You have a donkey. Oh, sorry, Patty. It is getting a little bit, it's not late. Like I stay up till 2 o'clock some mornings, but it's all the talking. The talking starts making me sleepy. Makes my throat a little scratchy. Yes, thank you. I have a mule. All right. Now I know. Now I know. I've got you firmly in my mind. You're in Indiana. The other Colleen is in North Texas. Yes, Scottish ancestry. I grew up eating heart, tongue, liver, etc. Grandma made it all the time, and I still do now at 54. Well, there you go. The other thing about Foxborough is she will do huge amounts of fruit preserving at once. How many pounds of peaches did you guys order and process this summer? Like 50, 70 pounds? Westhold says he's subscribed to Colleen. You should subscribe to Foxborough Homestead also. They got some good stuff on there. 8 boxes. But wasn't it like 50 pounds or something? It was so much peaches. Because they canned them, and the kids, and they all loved them so much that they were like, yes, we're gonna do this thing annually. And I was like, wow, I'm impressed. Each 240 pounds, 8 boxes, 30 pounds, 240 pounds of peaches. Come on. If John Ray was still in here, I know he would be Foxborough channel when I was looking for ways to make cheese before I found Viking preparedness. There you go, Westhold. We canned and dehydrated in the quiche. Each kid's had like 4 a day. Yes. How are the dehydrated peaches? I bet they're really yummy. I just had some dehydrated pear that I did from some pears someone gave me last year. So good. So tasty. Super good. Like peach jerky. There you go. We got almost very few peaches this year. We got a lot of pears though, tons of pears and lots of blueberries. It's a perfect year. Bad air on my phone, going to die. Tell PJ hi. All right, Kevin. I'll be on 13 more minutes, y'all. That'll be a record for me. I'm not usually on for 2 hours, but I really don't want to sign off because some of my favorite folks are in the house. So nobody else had problems with the Torah stuff, huh? Family said, yeah, got to get up and do the weekly grind in the morning. The cool thing about making things like cheese and fruit items is even when you're wrong, you're still right. If it doesn't turn into jelly, it just turns into syrup. If it ain't cheese, it's curds. Yum. Exactly right. Pear butter is as good as apple butter. It sure is. And my husband was talking about that recently, Shelby, and he's talking about toast with apple butter on it and cottage cheese. What kind of pies are you making on Wednesday? Hey, Renee Heinrich, I'm not making any pies. Simply because it's just the 2 of us, and neither one of us want to go through the trouble. So we're going to have the first time ever no pie for that holiday. That's not to say I will never make pies again. Of course I will, and I'll probably make an apple pie fairly soon, but I'm not putting pressure on myself to get it done on a certain day of this week. But we will have a big old turkey. It's already thawing out, and some potatoes and some other things. Your son is freaking out. I'm sure he is. I know. He's going to be like, what? Pie day, pie maker, my mom pies, pie. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right for me and Dad. I mean, we may have
Hey,
had...
you shouldn't be discussing this on a live stream.
Yes, dear. I have all the pieces to make a cheese press, but I haven't built it yet. I've only had the pieces for 4 years. Well, cheese presses are easy to, once you've seen one, you can sort of mechanically figure out the parts. But yeah, putting it together, you know what I'm saying. Yes, exactly, engineered to succeed. We've agreed. Duck Wrangler dude, I have ducks. Love your name. My family is not so fond of me being Torah observant. My dad is a pastor. He is still learning, though. I am making progress on him go. Well, good, engineer succeed. Because we have met some people and they just cannot, they just can't get it. Foxborough, I don't have a cheese press. Use some 5-gallon buckets and some canned goods. Right. There's ways to work around not having a press. I think the first time I did something, I used like plates with a brick on top or something. He is 75 and has more time to spend in the Bible. I learned from y'all that we are not supposed to eat pigs, so I stopped. We have a bunch of ham, bacon in our freezer. Hubby's still eating it. Is it okay to eat duck? My battery power is going out too. So see, this is all going to come together in perfect timing to say goodnight in 9 minutes. So the duck question has been asked to me before, and this is the answer we give. The animals that are unclean to eat in the Bible tend to fall into two categories: predators and like bottom feeders or carrion eaters. They eat dead stuff like a possum does, right? Ducks are not mentioned in the word, and ducks are neither one of those things. Ducks eat all kinds of live things, fish and bugs, and they eat grain and all sorts of stuff. And so following that logic, then we think ducks are okay to eat there. Same here with the unhappy family now that I want to leave the Sunday services. It's a very hard, what do you call it? Habit to break. It's a very hard switch to make if your religious practices were based on a lot of traditions of men. If your church is just all about social events and decorations and getting together for whatever, and it's just something that your family's done for a long time, like some families only ever went to church on Easter and Christmas, so they don't even know that much about Jesus, but it's just something they do. To get them to switch can be very hard because you're attacking them at the core of their belief system, and they take it personally and they get very, very upset about it. And it took a while even for me to understand like Christmas is a pagan holiday, because for me, Christmas was always a happy thing in my house. Why would I want to give that up? So you can't, it's not you to convince other people. Really, really. It's up to you to throw some seeds. And if their ground is prepared, then they will respond. But if their ground is not ready, it's not going to help you to try to throw your seeds. It's like casting pearls before swine. So you pray and you wait. That's my best advice to people. Clark Jaws, all the unclean fowl are predators or scavengers. Exactly. I tell my family no pork. If I'm wrong, I'm okay. But if they are wrong, exactly, Teresa. If they're wrong, they got a lot to answer for. Lori makes a pie that's half pecan, half pumpkin, and it's great. It sure sounds like it would be great. Purple What Colleen says, I just tell everyone I am reading the Bible and trying to follow God's law. that's it, kind of concentrated down. That's kind of it, right? Odd thing is, I am only addressing my own hypocrisy, and they are freaking out about it. Thanks for the words of wisdom. Well, I hope it helps. I mean, because I have not had that exact experience with my family, I'm giving you my best advice based on other people's experiences and the experience we've had in the years of walking in Torah. And I'm a little bit more of an apologeticist, so I try to explain it in great detail, but sometimes it doesn't matter what I'm saying. It's just, eyes and ears are shut. No, 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 no. No, 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 don't want to hear it, don't want to see it. And so it does you no good. It does you no good if they're like that. So at least with parents, you're to honor your parents. So you can't just cuss them out or, get into big disagreements with them. You don't want to do that. So the best thing to do is just not bring it up. Don't stir the pot and pray for them. And if they start to ask questions, then you can start answering questions. But if they don't, just still love them, and don't let it be a bone of contention. I say I'm doing what Jesus did. Yep. And that is true. But for people who think they were doing what Jesus did, that can sound like an insult to them. So it's, and you don't, here's the other thing. I have been in conversations where we've just been, no, this is right. This is right. What you're doing is wrong. And the word also says don't be a stumbling block for people. And so you've got to understand, one, that was probably you 5 years ago. You were, a Jesus loving person going to your church. And luckily for you, the Spirit said, wait, there's more. And so you have to be understanding and patient and not cause other people to stumble by the strength of your belief. You have to treat them with kindness. I really looked at this way. Yeshua kept Torah. If it was good enough for him, then it's good enough for me. Well, it's true. I love all your wisdom and the way you share it with all your heart. I feel blessed to be a part of your world. Oh, Renee, thank you. That's very sweet of you. It's hard-won wisdom, let me tell you. I know I trampled on people's feet, and I need to, repent and ask for forgiveness for that. I could have been, at times, gentler. For me, it is my choice for my life. Exactly right. Yep. Take a breath. Be thankful that we are saved. We will figure things out. True. Evening SK, cold in Branson this week, says Dusty. Yep, it's cold here too, Dusty. Okay, y'all. We got 2 minutes. Any pressing questions or comments before I sign off? I want to thank all of y'all for showing up. By looking at my channel review, I actually figured out how to let people know this was upcoming on YouTube, because I used to do it on my community section. So that really worked out. But I appreciate everyone who comes on. Well, I came in the last 10 minutes. Sorry to be late. Yeah, don't worry about it, Dusty. There'll be more. There'll be more. And you can watch this one if you're willing to sit there for 2 hours and, go over the questions and the comments and everything, because it will turn into a video as soon as I sign off on it. I need to go back and watch the beginning to see what I missed. There you go. Proper walk. Cleaning up about half a cow this week. Praise Yah. Yeah, lots of meat in your freezer. Oh, by the way, Clark, the solar started working again, as you said it would. Yes, see you soon, brother. Yeah, I'm way past my bedtime. Sorry. I know you work hard, Westhold. You're a blessing too. David Carter, this was great. Got some work done while listening to you. Well, good, David. Have a blessed week, everyone. Yeah. Shalom, Sister Kate, Rock Lick Ranch. Yes, everyone have a blessed week. I love that thought. Oh, will you be doing a 2022 prediction review at the end of the year? I really think so. Yes, Lone Star Living. I want to do that. And I still have the predictions that we made last time. I have them nailed to right above my desk. And when I see them, I'm like, oh, I got to make sure we do this. So yes, probably sometime in December. Thank you, SK, for evening great. Shalom, everyone. Much love, y'all. I like that. Good enough for Jesus, good enough for me. Exactly right. And thank you for dropping in, you two. It was really pleasant seeing you online. And all the positive feedback from everybody. Thank you so much. Credit to the folks that built it. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. Have a blessed
Can you
night.
bring me a couple banana chips, please? I'm having a cramp.
Yeah, I will. Time flies. It sure does, Dusty. All right, y'all. Bless you. Shalom.
Did you hear me?
Yes, I did, and I answered you.